Hello students, so in this video, this is the fourth video of a third module, and in this video I'm going to explain you about the synchronous DRAMs. So in the last video I was explaining you about two different types of dynamic RAMs, and this random access memories, it is of two types, that is static RAMs and dynamic RAMs. Then again, dynamic RAMs is of two types, one is asynchronous and the other one is synchronous RAMs. So here in this video I'm going to explain in detail about the synchronous DRAMs. So what is this synchronous DRAMs and how they work? DRAMs actually are dynamic RAMs where the cell will be consisting of one capacitor and one transistor in order to form a cell, and here the energy here the bit values will be stored in the form of charge. So here we'll be checking with the capacity of the charge present in the capacitor. So if the charge level is above the threshold value, then we are going to set the value of that bit as 1. If the charge is below the threshold value, then we'll be setting the bit value to 0. So here this is a diagram, block diagram, which consists of synchronous DRAMs and also synchronous. Wherever we use the term synchronous, we have to keep in mind that it consists of a clock signal or a clock timing signals, which will be followed by both the parties, that is either the master or the slave. Both has to follow that clock signals in order to send the data or receive the data over the bus. So here you can see, so you have a row column address, that is whatever address will be sent over the bus to from the processor to the memory. So here it has to be divided into two parts. One is row address latch and the other one is the column address counter. So both of these again it will be given to the row decoder and column decoder. So once it has been given to the once it has been decoded, the address has been decoded, so it will be that particular part will be checked, and also whatever like a read write circuits or latches, whatever it is being requested here, so whether it is a read operation or write operation, based on that whatever data will be requested, so it will be sent with the help of the data input register and data output register. Data input register is to read the values, and data output register is to write the values. So here also we have mode register and timing control, and in this you can see here there are different values. Clock, that is for synchronous DRAMs, so there will be a common clock signal which has to be maintained between the master and the slave, and also there are two strobes, row address strobe and column address strobe. So these two will be latched whenever you are going for the row or column address, because here the cell array, it will be multiplexed or it will be arranged in the form of arrays. So both the row address as well as column address is required in order to select a particular data from that particular word. So, and along with those two we have read or write operation, specifying whether it is a read operation or write operation. Then next, last one is the CS. CS indicates the chip select, which part of the this memory we are going to select, so that will be indicated with the help of this chip select. So I'll be reading this out, then it will be more clear. Operation is directly synchronized with the processor clock signal. The outputs of the sense circuits are connected to a latch. During a read operation, the contents of the cell in a row are loaded onto the latches. During a refresh operation, the contents of the cells are refreshed without changing the contents of the latches. Only the cells a value will be, contents of the cells are refreshed, but the contents of the latches will be remaining same at that particular clock cycle. Data held in the latches correspond to the selected columns are transferred to the output. For a burst mode, that is a fast page mode of operation, successive columns are selected using column address counter and clock CAS signal need to be generated externally. A new data is placed during the raising edge of the clock. So this is about the synchronous DRAMs. So now we are clear how actually these dynamic RAMs are there. In asynchronous it follows different things, and in synchronous it follows different rules. So hope it is clear. Then later moving on to the latency, bandwidth and the DDR SDRAMs. So first let us know about the latency. So this latency and the bandwidth are the two parameters which have to be analyzed when we are talking about the memories. So here memory latency and memory bandwidth are the two parameters which has to be considered. So this memory latency is what? So this memory latency is the time which is taken to transfer a word of data to or from the memory. So here whatever data you are being transferring, so a word it will be consisting of 1 byte, that byte it will be again consisting of 8 bits. So what is the amount of data being transferred, or either it may be a read operation or write operation, what is the time taken in order to perform a read operation or write operation between the two units, that is the memory and the processor, is called as the memory latency. So it is the time taken to perform read or write operation by transferring one word of data is called as memory latency. And memory bandwidth is the number of bits or bytes that can be transferred in 1 second. So per second, how many bits or bytes of data can be transferred is called as memory bandwidth. And also here what we are going to do means, we are actually if it is a burst mode, then more number of words has to be transferred. So if more number of words are to be transferred, then we are going to consider what is the amount of bandwidth required to transfer the first word of data, or what is the time taken to transfer first word of data, either in a read operation or write operation. So if it is a single word, then that word's performance will be considered. If it is burst of data, the first word which has to be transferred will be considered. Okay, so next one is DDR SD RAMs. So DDR stands for double data rate synchronous dynamic random access memories. So here whatever we have studied till now, the data it was being transferred only at the high end, or the higher the two values will be there, high value and low value for the clock signals. So this DRAMs it always used to send the data only during when the clock signal used to be high. But here in order to transfer the in order to increase the transfer of data dual times, then we are going to consider both low value and high value of the clock signal. And here in order to ease the usage or transfer of data, we are going to organize the cell array into two banks. So till now here the cell array it was arranged only in one bank. But here in DDR SDRAMs, what we are going to do means, we are going to arrange the array in two banks. So once it is being arranged in two banks, if two words are to be like read or written consequently, then one word from first bank and second word from second bank it will be selected, and fetch or read operation or write operation will be performed simultaneously. So the time required to read or write two values or two words, it will be done in a single shot of time. So this is a advantage of using DDR SD RAMs, that is double data rate SD RAMs, that is synchronous dynamic random access memories. So this is about the synchronous DRAMs and what are the parameters which are required to store the in order to perform the operations in the memory, that is the latency and the bandwidth, and also about DRAM which is used to increase the capacity of transfer of data.